glad I checked that because I had to go back and re-record everything I just recorded because my microphone was very too loud. Thanks for listening to this is episode 145. Hard to believe there's only 5 episodes left to get to 150. I listen to a lot of podcasts and sometimes they'll hit like a big milestone and they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, this was the 300th episode. And I'm like, no way, man. You need to celebrate that shit. You work hard on your show. You need to, make it a bigger deal. I know we celebrate at milestones. We did at 50 a little bit, at 75. Did a big thing for 100. We did an in-store appearance for our 100th episode special. And we even did the road to 100 for like 190 through 100. 90 through 100, excuse me. And all the shows were centered around it being the 100th. And the way everything's lining up right now, it looks like our 150th episode's going to come out at the end of the year. So there might be a New Year's element tied to it, depending on exactly how that works out. I'm not sure how many episodes we're going to get in this month. We just released one, and I'm doing one right now. And as I sit here and speak, it's October the 7th. This will probably come out next week, though. So you'll probably be hearing it, I don't know, whenever I get done editing it. But what I wanted to kind of do this episode, well, before I get into that, this Post-it note is telling me to tell you to call our voicemail line, 662-767-4487. That's a new number. And nobody's going to answer that. It's just going to go to a voicemail, and you're going to talk, and all messages are subject to editing, and they could be on the air. And right now, what I need you to call and tell us on the voicemail line is your top 10 movies that scared you the most and why. Every year around Halloween we do lists, and we've already read some on episode 144. Probably not going to do any on this one. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. But on the rest of the Halloween episodes, we'll be reading off people's lists on the air. Also, it says plug Patreon, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. So anyway, I had the idea to do this. I had the idea to do this even before October got here. I got to thinking, we've done some really cool stuff around Halloween, and I want to kind of go back and, for the ones that didn't join us at number 1 and follow us through the whole journey, every episode's a jumping on point for this show. There's not really, you don't necessarily have to start at episode 1. I know some people, a lot of our listeners have started listening and then went back at number 1 and worked their way back up, which that's cool. And the numbers show that, definitely, because the older episodes have way more listens than our newer ones. But at any rate, I want to kind of go through and recap all the things we've done in Halloween's previously, and slightly elaborate on each one. And if you've already heard all the episodes, it's going to be as much of a reminder for me as it is for you. I think it'd be fun to do this. Shout out to Keli for helping me put this list together. I'm using that, and I'm also just going to go to, I went to realpopculture.com. That's a landing page for our main Podomatic site. And all of our episodes are on there. Right now, they're all on there. Pretty soon, some of them will be archived over to our Patreon, which you need to go to patreon.com/realpopculture and check out our Patreon page. It's got some it's got content out there now, and one episode that I'm working on in conjunction with 150 coming out is I'm going to do something similar to this, but for every episode, 1 through 150. Of course, I want to elaborate as much because it would be a 4-hour show, but I'm just going to recap everything we've done, everything, and that's going to be a Patreon exclusive to coincide with our 150th episode. So I totally stole this from the Stephen D.C. radio show. I used to listen to them when I was driving to school. Like even when I was in college, I had a long commute, and I would listen to them. You know, every station had its own morning show, and the one I listened to on the local radio station was Stephen DC. And every year at Halloween, they would do a live broadcast from a haunted location. Like they knew about a haunted house or a haunted factory. Of course, them being a nationally syndicated, big time radio show, they had access to more places than we do as a lowly podcast. But we still, nonetheless, have done some really cool stuff. And you know, like I've always said, I feel like all of October is Halloween. Not just the 31st, but the 1st and all the way up to it. Love the time of year. I love the weather changing. I pretty much I watch scary movies all October long. I'll go back and watch old horror movies. I watch newer ones. And it's not that I won't watch them the rest of the year, but I kind of don't much. Not that I wouldn't. I just kind of save it for that because it makes it more special. But if one comes up that I want to see throughout the year, of course I'll watch it. But mainly if I'm watching a horror movie, it's in October because that's all I watch in October. So I had the idea to do Halloween stuff in the month of October, even before the show began. That was like my first thought, was like to do like Stephen DC used to do, and just do really cool shit around Halloween related to the paranormal and the weird and all of that. But the podcast started in March 23rd was episode 1, and that was a Werewolf Festival special, one of two specials. So we had a long stretch to wait, and let me see here. Looks like our first Halloween episode ever was October the 7th, 2015. And that was Dr. Allen. That's cool because Dr. Allen Brown wrote Ghosts Along the Mississippi River and like 20-something other paranormal related books. And that's cool because I just got an email back from him. He's going to be on the show again this month. So that'll be his 3rd appearance total. I didn't realize that he was the first ever person that we interviewed for October stuff. But he's written a bunch, like I said, over 20 books. You can go to his Amazon page, and there's a lot there. And I'll be telling you about his website and stuff like that when we have him on. Don't be surprised if it's next episode or it'll be this month. Next one was October the 14th. I missed one. Oh, maybe we had. Let me go back. Causing myself a lot of editing problems here. Okay, so there was 2 interviews on episode 27, which was October the 7th. We talked to Dr. Allen Brown and part 1 of a 2-part interview with the Deep South Paranormal Society. So then the next one, I'm having to jump between pages here and my internet's slow. You can like hear me scrolling my mouse. Was October the 14th. Yeah, part 2 of the interview with the Deep South Paranormal team. Had an exclusive phone interview with author Barbara Sillery, who wrote The Haunting of Mississippi, along with a lot of other things. She talked about a lot of her other books. I think they were all paranormal related, and had a really good conversation with her. I remember particularly going back not all that long ago and listening to that interview and thinking, that wasn't bad for me being early on in my interviewing. And this first month, we really came out swinging because the whole month we were leading up to our visit to the Gulf Ordnance Plant. The Gulf Ordnance Plant is an old World War II bomb factory that's been shut down, obviously, since the war was over. And it's mostly in ruins, but there's a couple of buildings left standing. And if you live in the North Mississippi area, you've probably heard about how haunted it is. And we took generators and laptops and microphones, and we had the Deep South Paranormal Society. I think that was still their name then. And they had their paranormal equipment set up. We had our podcast equipment set up. And it was great, but I'm jumping ahead. Anyway, every episode we were doing promo to like lead up to that being like the big finale. And I even made a commercial for that. And if I can find it, I'll play it for you right now because I think that was a cool commercial. What's up, everybody? Halloween is almost here, and Kill Pop Culture has an awesome treat in store for you. We're going to be broadcasting live from an old World War II bomb factory that is said to be extremely haunted. This place has been written about in books, it's been on paranormal TV shows, it's been a hot spot for numerous paranormal investigations and sightings, and we're going to be all up in it. And we're going to be bringing the whole thing to you live on SoundCloud. That's right, Friday, October 30th, Halloween Eve at 8 o'clock p.m. You'll be able to go to soundcloud.com/killpopculture. Not to be mistaken for the normal way that you might listen to Kill Pop Culture, which would probably be through iTunes or the Podomatic app or straight from the Podomatic site. This is on our SoundCloud account. We had to change things up a little bit because we're bringing it to you live and we had to do things a little bit differently. So be aware of the change that this is actually on our SoundCloud account, not on Podomatic where you would normally listen to us. And never fear, if you do happen to miss the live broadcast, it's not going away. It'll still be out there on our SoundCloud account indefinitely if you want to go back and listen to it later. We'll have the links up for it on our Facebook and Twitter. Follow us at KillPopC. You'll be able to listen to the whole thing as it unfolds. We'll be joined by our good friends from the Deep South Paranormal Society. They'll be doing on-site investigations, taking readings. They'll have all their fancy equipment set up, hoping to capture some sort of paranormal encounter. And if they do, you'll be hearing it as it happens. Be sure to go to soundcloud.com/killpopculture. Be ready to tune in at 8 o'clock p.m. Halloween Eve, October 30th. The show will be uploaded in segments, and each time we put up a new segment, we'll tweet about it and we'll Facebook about it. Check it out. The next one was October the 21st, 2015. This was a good one. We did this at the Amory Museum and Sanatorium. The old Amory Hospital was turned into a sanatorium and then later turned into what is now the museum. And there's been, a lot of ghost hunts there, a lot of stories about people have seen things and heard things and captured pictures and a bunch of crazy paranormal activity. So we went and set up there while they were doing ghost tours. While we were there, we set up like in a gift shop or something and did a broadcast. So that was really cool. And then next was October the 28th. This is where we went to Three-Legged Lady Road. That's not the actual name of the road, but supposedly there's this road in Columbus. It's like way out. But there's this legend of the three-legged lady. I can't say that. Will chase you down the road. And there's been people have even said that she pushed their car. One person said they ran off in a ditch. There's also a cemetery out there. I forget how it goes. I think you're supposed to turn your headlights off, and she starts chasing you at the cemetery, and then she stops like at the church on down the road. And that cemetery is like really old and spooky. And we went and did what they call maglite session at the cemetery, and it was really freaky because they twist the maglite to where it's barely on, barely off, and they set it on actual old headstone. It was so old you couldn't even read the words on it, but I remember they asked it, and we've got video. If somebody has video of this somewhere, Jeremy Thorne from the Paranormal Society, he was talking to it, and he said, "If you want us to leave, turn the light off," and it turned off instantly. And then he was like, "Okay, just to be clear, you want us to leave? If you do, turn the light back on," and then it turned back on, and I think he even did it one more time. I know he did it too because we got somebody recorded with their cell phone, and you hear our reaction because like, "Oh, are you sure he wants to leave? If you tell us one more time to leave, we'll leave." And then the light turns back off, and we're like, "Whoa!" It's pretty crazy. Could have been coincidence that that's when the light was flickering, but the timing was impeccable. And then not far from there is a place called Armstrong Railroad Crossing. And out there, you're supposed to be able to see a light from a lantern like a guy that got ran over by the train, and he's still walking up and down the tracks, and you can see his lantern sometimes. We didn't see it. We did see a light, but it turned out it was a light from a crossing on down the tracks there. So, and then after that, we went to Waffle House, and I'm pretty sure I had the All-Star Breakfast, which I call the Fat Man Special. I'm sure you're really glad to know that. The next one was the finale at the Ordnance Plant, but it actually aired in November. What the plan was like Stephen DC used to do. They would broadcast live, and they had the money and the equipment to do so. Obviously, at an old World War II bomb factory, they're not going to have good Wi-Fi at all. And so I bought this hotspot. This is back before you could do hotspot on your phone, and it was a cellular data hotspot. And I was like, let's try to do it live instead of just recording it and then bringing it home and editing it. I want the feeling of like the listeners, they're there with us, sort of. It's happening to them the same time it's happening to us. So we did sort of a version of that. On the commercial it says to go to our SoundCloud account, which is still out there, I think. And we would upload segments as we go, like bits and pieces of the show. And then later on put them all together in one show where all the other shows are on Podomatic, like they are now. And problem is, it was a big waste of money to get that hotspot because I only had 1 bar of cellular data, so therefore, you still got a broken connection to the internet. And we got a couple of segments uploaded, but it didn't go like I wanted to go, so we still got the show, though, and it's still out there. It aired actually on Podomatic in its entirety November the 24th. So we spilled on over into the next month that year. Alright, let me find 2016. Alright, this year, 2016, is when I started using custom images here and there for every show. I do it for every show now, but used to I just used a generic Real Pop Culture logo, but now I make a custom image for each episode that's usually relevant to, like, all this month will be Halloween themed. Like, I used part of the cover from the original Halloween movie for episode 144. I don't know what I'm using for 145 yet because I haven't finished it. So September the 8th, we started early. September the 8th, 2016, it says, in preparation for our Halloween shows in October, we do a walk through the old Athens jailhouse. We talk about Hot Sauce Delta Fan Fest and That's So Sick Fest. Yeah, that's probably right before we did Delta Fan Fest, I guess. Oh, yeah, because then the next episode was Delta Fan Fest Part 1. That was a con that we went to. And then there was Delta Fan Fest Part 2. That was also in December. September. On October 6, 2016, we had Stephen Yates on here. He was promoting the That's So Sick Fest. That was a music festival that Killjoy played. And, yeah, we talked to him, and then that was part 1 of our interview with Shannon Byers of Timeless Paranormal. Yeah, we had a long talk with Shannon, and we had to split it up into 2 parts. And then on the next episode 56 was October 14th, 2016, we went live to the Lyric Theater in Tupelo and did a walkthrough with one of the curators, and then part 2 of the Shannon Byer video. So that was really cool, doing that walkthrough, and that's the one where people claim to have heard a voice in the background of somebody that wasn't there. Next one, October 28th, 2016, Dr. Brown returns for his second time to talk about his new book at the time, Ghost of Mississippi's Golden Triangle. Then the episode after that was our big visit to the Athens jailhouse. Is that when I talked to... Yeah, that's when not only do we go and record some there, but I had a meeting with Miss Harlow of the Monroe County Historical Society, and we got the history of the Athens jailhouse. She wasn't so much into the paranormal, but man, is she knowledgeable about the history of a lot of places like that around here. And then we took a break. We didn't do another episode till January. Now this next one isn't part of October because HorrorCon was in July. But definitely worth mentioning, man. Definitely listen to those HorrorCon episodes. I had such a good time doing that. We got to interview John Anderson from Guardians of the Galaxy, Michael Berryman. Well, in HorrorCon episode 1, I think there was 2, maybe 3. Yeah, we talked to Michael Berryman and John Anderson on that one. Then on part 2, it was 3 episodes. On part 2 of that, we talked to local filmmaker Dustin Edmondson. Dustin Edmondson about his movie Slender. He made a movie about Slender Man that's, I think, still on YouTube, and I'm actually in it. There is a scene where they go to an insane asylum, and very befitting, they put Killjoy, the whole band, in as inmates in the asylum. So I don't have a speaking part, but you definitely see me. We also talked to Five Nights at Freddy's. He's a Five Nights at Freddy's voice actor, Andy Field. You gamers know Five Nights at Freddy's is a popular horror game. Talked to Bill Moseley. He needs no introduction. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Chainsaw Massacre. And then in part 3 of HorrorCon, we talked to Barney Harris. They're the ones that put it on, the Tupelo Haunted Castle. Talked to Matthew Ashley. And we talked to Leatherface himself, R.A. Mihailov. He was Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So, those weren't Halloween episodes, but they were. You know what I mean? Yeah, you do. Scroll. I was going to throw out an interesting fact as I scroll through all the episodes here. Episode number 85 was in December of 2015. It was our last episode with the name Kill Pop Culture. The next episode we were called Real Pop Culture. Not Halloween related, but... And I also want to throw in, I was talking about the Road to 100. There were some really cool graphics for those episodes. The episode title image. And then we get to 100 on October the 9th. So we kicked off that Halloween season. That's right, because we did the big in-store thing. We got to talk to Lynn, the Twisted Southern Horror Queen herself, Lynn Gibson, about her books. And we started talking about paranormal then because it was October. So that was the 1st of 2018. It aired October 9th. Then episode 101 came out October the 19th. We had a phone interview with #1 Amazon bestseller author Sydney Fisher. She tells us about her books, haunted history tours, and that's when we started the lists. I think that year's when we started getting our listeners to send in their favorite horror movies and we would read them on the air. October the 29th. Oh yeah, that was a cool episode because I wanted to talk about real life boogeymen, and I had my buddy Barry Poole on the show, and we talked about serial killers. That was really good because he reads a lot of true crime novels, and he's real knowledgeable about facts and stuff about serial killers. And we talked about some of the classic, serial killers, and talked about real life monsters instead of the fictional ones. And we also talked about how the real life serial killers influence or are influenced by what comes out in fiction. Like obviously Ed Gein was a big influencer in the horror movie business. For our third Halloween episode, that was our third. We did something else on that show. We did some more lists on that episode. Then, yes, episode 103. We finally make it to Waverly Manor. I remember, again, going back before this show even existed, I wanted to do scary stuff, go to scary places that are haunted. And the most famously haunted place around here where we live is the Waverly Mansion. And I toured it when I was a kid, and Mrs. Snow was still alive, and she did the tour. And then now went back and did it again, and allegedly Mrs. Snow is one of the spirits that haunts the place. We didn't catch her. We took a lot of pictures. I had a great interview with the curator. Is that how you say it? The caretaker? The person that takes care of the place? Is that a curator? A Keurig? We talked to the Keurig about making some coffee, and had a great interview with him. He was super cool, and learned a lot about the history. He told us about what he had heard about ghost stuff, but he said he'd never seen anything or heard anything, but he's talked to a lot of people that say they have. And well, when I was a kid, Mrs. Snow would tell us, about the little girl that she would talk to in there. And then there was the cemetery across the street that we visited, and looked around down there and stuff, and had a good trip going out to Waverly Mansion. I was really, really glad to finally get that on the show. And that was it. The next one was into November, and we were doing Walking Dead stuff. Looks like in September of 2019, we did an episode about It Chapter 2. That's not really a Halloween show, but, Oh, and in June 26, 2019, we interviewed Jason Brooks. Again, not a Halloween show, but he did play Jason in Friday the 13th Vengeance, so that's cool. Did I miss? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going the wrong way. Okay, I was just making sure. That was the last one of 2018, so let's go to 2019, shall we? Yeah, 123 is when we did the thing about It. That was in September. We did an episode in October the 7th, 2019, but in the description I don't see anything. I know we talked about stuff we normally talk about. I'm sure paranormal stuff was mentioned because it was in October, but sometimes the show description is pretty vague depending on how tired I am and how uncreative I'm feeling. But the next one was... this was a good one. We do a rundown of list of top underrated horror movies. It's just the cast of us sitting around talking about horror movies, basically. That's got a cool show image on it. The next one just says Happy Halloween, episode 126, Horror, the Unexplained, and much, much more. I don't remember that one exactly. And it wasn't that long ago. It's been a weird year. So is that it? Yeah, that takes us to this Halloween. No, this is 2020. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a break because I had to pull up my list that Keli made for me. And evidently, because I felt like I was missing something. It looks like I skipped an entire year. Because the way I'm looking on the website, it's... you have to scroll. They make the things real big, and you have to scroll up and down, and my internet sucks, and there's lag. And yeah, I skipped a whole year. And that year would have been 2017. And that was a great year. So I'm glad I pulled my notes up and looked. October the 5th, 2017, we had an interview with Shadow Stalkers Paranormal that was our longtime sponsor. We made a lot of announcements about the forthcoming stuff that we're going to be doing that year. Then into episode 80 was October 12th, 2017. We had the Prism Paranormal Group in the studio talking about their public event they had coming up. We bring back an old segment that we haven't done in a while, and we make a huge Halloween season announcement. I think when the Prism Paranormal Group came, they played us an EVP that they had recorded that was really freaky, and I think we played it on the show, if I'm not mistaken. We may not have. Then October 27th, 2017, we're getting ready for our trip to the Greg Hamilton house. We did a walkthrough and interview with the owner. Had a really good time doing that. But on that episode, we talked to a former resident over the phone, and we discussed like the history of what we researched about the Greg Hamilton house. Then the next one, we're on location. That actually came out November the 1st, 2017. That's when we did the walkthrough with the owner, and Tracy was her name. She's really hospitable, very nice, very fun to talk to her. And we still kind of stay in touch a little bit on like social media and stuff. Oh, and that was we got an EVP unintentionally on that episode. I remember I was walking up the stairs, and Jerm was with me, and he was a ways in front of me. In fact, you can hear him say something, and it kind of echoes. You can kind of tell he's not, right there with me. He had gone on ahead, and I was just getting to the top of the stairs, which, by the way, they say they've seen things on the stairs before. Somebody said, hey, and I was the only one. Tracy was downstairs and just letting us, do a walkthrough, and we were the only 3 people in the house at the time. And, she was downstairs and Jerm was in front of me, but you can clearly hear somebody say, hey. And I remember I didn't hear it when it happened, but when I was doing the editing, I was like, whoa, that was an eerie feeling, I'm going to tell you. But, yeah, I was kind of freaked out by that. The next episode, again, this is in November, but it's certainly worth mentioning when talking about Halloween. We have over on the phone interview with C.J. Graham, a.k.a. Jason Voorhees, from my favorite Friday the 13th movie of all time, Part 6, Jason Lives. That's a really cool graphic I did for that show, because I found the Friday the 13th font, and I basically have the cover of Jason Lives, and in the font where it says Friday the 13th, it says Kill Pop Culture Podcast, and episode blah blah blah, and then at the bottom, it's basically set up like the DVD cover, but it's with the information about the show. I thought it was cool. Okay, I'm a nerd. Whatever. So, okay, that's the one that I skipped. This is going to be a nightmare to edit, but hey, it's my fault. Yeah, because the next one I skipped to is where we did El Cindy Fisher, the Haunted History Tour. We talk about serial killers. We did the Waverly Mansion. Then you skip ahead to present day. No. Yeah, episode 103 was Waverly Mansion. 125 was we just do lists. And episode 126 was we just talk Halloween stuff. Was that it? So there's been 19 Halloween episodes, unless you count last episode, which is 144. I encourage you to go listen to it. We talk a lot about Jason, and we talk about we do some lists there too. Which, by the way, again, send us your list. Top 10 movies that scared you the most and why. Doesn't even have to be a horror movie. If it scared you, put it on there and tell us why. And it doesn't necessarily like, we're not asking you your top 10 favorite horror movies. You may have hated it, but if it scared you, matter of fact, if it scared you really bad, you may not like it. So that's a list of everything we've done previously on Real Pop Culture for Halloween. And I know you're wondering, well, what's next? What's the future going to bring? Well, like I said earlier, I've already lined it up with Dr. Brown. He's going to be back on the show he was talking about like when he was in quarantine, he had a lot of time to work on writing, and he's released like 3 or 4 books, like in the last month. Sorry, I had to back up from the mic. I realized I was so too loud. And there's a big thing in the works right now for this month, and I'm still scared to announce it because it's not final. The finalization isn't finalized on finalizing it. There is a haunted tour that we're going to do. We'll tell you more about next episode. If this thing comes through that we're trying to book, and I may save this for tomorrow, so you may hear an announcement in the outro of this, because I should know tomorrow. I should have confirmation with redundancy. And, what else could the future hold is you sending us your list and us reading them. If you want to be anonymous, you can. If you don't want to call the voicemail line, you can go, you can email us, popculture4real, that's the number 4real @gmail.com. You can send it to us on social media, Facebook, Messenger, whatever. We want to hear about it. And if you have any suggestions for places for us to visit, we don't mind traveling a little bit. We live in the southeast area, but we will travel a little bit. Well, we may be traveling a little bit here in a couple weeks if everything works out right. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to do an outro for this probably tomorrow so I can maybe make that announcement. Yeah, I'll be back in some form.
And we're in the red.
For the listeners, only moments have passed since I did that first segment, but for us, it's been 2 days. And I think I said I'd be right back, if I'm not mistaken. So I lied. I'm sorry.
Well, you're technically right back for them.
I think I turned myself down too much. I have to apologize for the audio quality in that first segment. We have new equipment, and it works a lot better than our old equipment in that it picks everything up a lot better. And I even recorded like 5 minutes, and the WAV files, you can just tell by looking at them on the computer that something wasn't right. So I went back and listened, deleted everything I did, turned it down by half, and it was still too loud. So all those spots where it got kind of fuzzy, like I turned it way down in editing, but where it clipped and peaked out, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
It just sounds bad. But this
we're
one,
slowly working out the kinks in this new system.
Yeah, we got a whole new interface as we talked about last episode. But I like it. It's a lot better.
I do too. It's a lot more functional.
Yeah, like I've got knobs right here I can use to control things.
Knobs are good.
Knobs are cool, man. Knobs are cool. I don't know. I changed my mind. I think I do want to listen to this to be sure. All right, so we're about to do a couple of lists. Yours and Clint's. I'm fixing to go grill, and I'm going to turn it over to Clint here in a minute.
That's kind of funny.
People are tired of hearing
instead of me normally.
Yeah, people are tired of hearing me talk, so I'm going to be gone for a little bit.
All right, come on, Clinard.
We're going to watch a scary movie tonight after we're done doing this. I think I'm going to...
We figured out what we're going to watch yet?
I think I'm going to give y'all a choice of like 3 movies and whatever everybody decides. Did I tell you what happened the other day?
No.
This is a funny story.
Name off the scary movies. I want our listeners to know, and then we can tell them what we picked on the next episode or something.
I was wanting to watch Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, but Alicia didn't seem enthused about that. There's a movie Sean recommended I watch called
Darkness Falls.
Darkness Falls.
It's about the Tooth Fairy. It's really good.
Either that,
it's kind of scary too.
That, or y'all were just talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I haven't seen that in a long time, so now I want to watch it. So one of those 3 would be fine with me.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever. I'll probably end up going to sleep.
I got to tell you what happened the other day. This is kind of funny. Me and Alicia was going to watch a scary movie, and I was like, all right, we'll pick us something out, and I've got to run to the store real quick. Well, I come back, and she's like, all right, I got 2 pulled up for you to pick. One of them she had pulled up on Netflix, and one of them was on HBO Max. And she had them, pulled up and paused. We winded up watching Gothica. I had never seen it, but I think she had seen it a long time ago.
I don't really consider Gothica a horror movie, though. It's more of a psychological
She was possessed
drama.
by a ghost. I think
Was she?
Yeah. Spoiler alert, that movie's been out for 10 years, but still.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, if it involves possession, I think it's safely affixed in the horror category.
Well, that's the one with Halle Berry, right? Where she's
yeah, and it's got a ton of jump scare. It's definitely a horror movie. It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got a bunch of... It was like a scary part of the movie. And, when you watch horror movies, you got to turn the volume way up.
Yes.
We had the PA system on. I mean, we were blasting in here. And all of a sudden, this lion starts roaring, like in the middle of the movie. And we looked at each other like, what the hell? And we were both on the other side of the room, away from the computer. The movie she had paused on Netflix started playing.
Oh.
Just out of nowhere.
That's kind of funny.
Oh, another thing we need to announce is we have ghost hunting equipment now.
We've got a bunch of ghost hunting.
Yeah, I bought one thing, and you bought like...
everything else.
You bought everything there is to buy just about it.
No, the only thing we don't have right now is a spirit box.
Didn't you say they sent you 2 of everything you ordered?
No, what they did is when I ordered the first batch, it was supposed to have been delivered that Monday. Well, it kept saying delivered on Amazon. I checked the tracking. Everything said delivered. So I gave them the next day. I was like, I'll check on it Tuesday. So Amazon's got this cool customer service thing on chat. So you can just chat with them. You don't have to call them. You ain't got to go through email. And everything gets resolved a lot quicker. So I was doing that. And they were like, all right, look, give us till the end of business Wednesday. I was like, okay, I can do that. So when Thursday morning come around and I still didn't have anything, when I got back to work, I pulled them back up and was telling them about it. So they was like, look, all right, we will just refund all your money. And I said, yeah, do that, because I'm just going to go ahead and rebuy everything. And that's why I was asking if I could have it shipped to your house. So all that said and done, I get everything reordered. It gets delivered to your house. And then my packages finally show up. Like almost 2 weeks late.
Yeah, so I know I checked the mail.
Chat, and I told them, I said, hey, look, I don't know what to do. These packages, they finally came in. Do I need to send everything back? And the lady on there was like, nah, you're okay. Just everything's been refunded. You've already reordered. Just keep them.
Awesome. That worked.
Like,
that worked out.
Hello.
I know I checked the mail because I was expecting some packages in for me, and I was like, yay, my packages finally came in. Like, I have one order right now that's just stuck in Tennessee. It's just sitting there. It's been sitting there like 2 weeks. I hadn't moved. According to the tracking. But anyway, I was like, yay, my stuff finally came in. It had your name on all of this stuff. I was like, well, damn it. Psych.
And I've also ordered, which anybody out there that does ghost hunting or watches the ghost hunting shows, I bought all the stuff to build our own motion capture camera, which they call it a SLS camera.
Oh, that reminds me. I did buy two things. I got the motion detector.
Yeah.
And the, what was that meter called?
K2 EMF meter.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have a SLS motion capture camera also to take on hunts with us.
You know, Anthony brought up a really good idea, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to stop doing October stuff just in October. We're going to do it all year long and then just save it to air in October.
I've been wanting to do that forever. I mean, we stay so busy.
Yeah.
It's really hard for us to get out and do anything that's not.
We got a couple of cool things planned. One of our things a big thing we were going to do fell through, but we're definitely going to do it next year, and it could easily be, as far as activity in the spot, it could be the most like haunted thing we've done, or the most awesome thing we've done.
Well, that SLS camera, I seen them use it on one of those YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Of the place you're talking about.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about then.
Yeah, it's a tablet or a monitor.
And it traces out stuff that it sees.
It makes a stick figure if there's supposedly, air quotes, a spirit or something in front of you. And those things are like $400 or $500.
But you can buy the stuff to just make one.
Yeah.
Huh.
And you can, honestly, all you need is just a Kinect 360 sensor and a tablet that runs Windows.
We're like real life Ghostbusters now. We got proton packs and everything.
All we need is a PK meter, a ghost trap.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get up and let Clint sit here, and I'm gonna go make food happen.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna read off a couple of lists. I think Clint's gonna wing it, and you've got like 15 of 10.
I whittled mine down to 15. I got 5 honorable mentions. All right, Clinton. Mr. Lonnie C. himself.
I actually just pulled up on Rotten Tomatoes some of the movies.
Anthony brought you some Jägermeister.
So, whoa.
That's for you. Well, he just donated it to
All right.
the man cave, and I don't drink it.
Yeah, mine, as usual, are going to be in no particular order, except for the last one I mentioned is going to be the one that scared me the absolute most recently, which that don't happen. And I also tried to stay away from the cliche ones that that everybody's that scared all
But
of
some
us
of
growing
these, some
up.
of these, I may have to ask you about because you're fresher on those movies.
All right, that's not a problem at all.
But I'll get into that as we go. Like some of them, I can't remember exactly. Maybe like I'll remember the name of the movie, maybe, but I won't remember which, like whether it was part one, part two.
Yeah.
That
That's
kind
no
of stuff.
problem.
So
Well, look, you're going to have to talk right into
You've
the mic
got-
on this one.
you've got more than I do, so I'll let you start because I don't even know that I'll have 10.
Okay, I
And,
would start off with Jaws from 1975, the original.
Well, that was actually one of mine too.
Well, I mean,
So-
we're going to have a bunch of crossovers.
Well, I had like 3 that I was gonna put in one. So you go ahead and tell me about Jaws, and then I'll.
It
add
was
the other
just
2
the movie.
that I wanted.
It was just a fact about a great white shark.
Yeah.
We was going to the beach. I was talking about it earlier. We were going to the beach the next weekend when I was a kid, and this was, I'm gonna say, early '80s. And I was afraid to go put my feet in the water.
Looks like you always too, and you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I was.
So in every one of those
7
type
years
movies,
old, maybe.
in every one of those type movies, they always show the little kid swimming around in the floaty.
Oh, the floaty.
And you always think
yeah.
somebody, because they did it on Meg too. That was
Yep.
that was another one that and Deep Blue.
And they also,
You
done it
know, on all 3 of
Piranhas.
those, I was going to kind of throw together just
Yeah.
because they're all so similar movies. But they did it on Jaws.
Meg
They
was
did it
a
on
good
Piranha.
movie.
You know,
Yeah.
all those type movies. So that's kind of like, and you always see the little kid swimming around in the
And
floaty
then,
that can barely
like a
get.
bobber, he just disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid to be that kid because I was a
And like today, we were.
short,
I actually
fat
watched.
kid.
I actually watched Meg with 2 of my kids were in there watching Meg with me today, and my youngest was in there. And when the little dog is swimming,
Oh yeah.
and my little 4-year-old was like, "Swim, puppy, swim!" And I was like, "He's not gonna make it." I was trying to warm
He
him
did
up
make it
for
though, didn't he?
No, it never showed it.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
was swimming
just
and it never
disappeared.
showed it. Like
Yeah.
it didn't show whether he got killed, like it ate the dog or not. So, but yeah, Jaws was one of mine too. And some of mine aren't really so much horror movies. It's just stuff,
Well, that's
stuff
just-
in them that creep me out.
Yeah, that's the
you
thing
know?
about this list. It's
and it's
not
situational.
technically
too.
the top horror movies that scared us. It's the top 10 movies.
Yeah,
Now I am going
or
to
maybe
say,
scenes from a movie.
Yeah,
that, if you break it down that
99% of
tight.
mine is horror movie. So
Yeah, go again. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say the next one wasn't a movie; it was a mini series. But Kingdom Hospital,
Oh, I remember that.
I love that show.
Yeah.
I love it. But there's certain scenes in it still today that just you kind of get them goosebumps. You're like, ooh, starting to kind of looking around in the corners and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that kind of brings me the one on my list was a show. It's like the Hill House, that came out on
in
Netflix.
a Hill House.
Yeah,
that was
and
good.
they went in when they made the movie and they put, I think it was supposed to be 13 different ghosts in the movie that's not part of the movie that you're just supposed to kind of
was,
catch.
the clockmaker. He was, or the
And-
repairman. But he was in every episode, but nobody ever recognized him.
But I love the scenes that they use, the one-shot scenes,
Yeah.
to where it doesn't have a cut scene in them.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
thought, and then like when you go by and like nobody's there, and then it cuts back and it's one continuous scene, not a cut scene, but it's one continuous
It's
scene,
just
and you
one
go back
roll.
and there's like a ghost standing there or a dead
Yeah.
person standing there.
But
like
nobody,
that was one of mine too.
Yeah,
like,
nobody realizes it. I love
No,
that.
I love it. Yeah, like they
That
didn't
was
even see
good.
that. And then one of mine kind of goes back, and it's kind of a situational thing. Kind of goes back to like Jaws. It's Lake Placid with the alligators. Because it's kind of the same way about whether, because we don't live close to the beach, but we live close to rivers.
That,
we
and
live close to
there's a
lakes,
pond
and everybody
everywhere
goes
that we can go swimming
to
in.
ponds, lakes, and rivers swimming, and that kind of worries you a little bit about the alligators,
And that us
But-
living on the river.
I mean, that one's not really
If if that had come out when we were young,
and swimming
we
actually
probably
in those creeks
never
and stuff.
would
yeah,
ever
in
have
those
gotten in another
ponds
cow
and-
pond or a
Yeah,
creek or anything.
yeah, because we didn't care when we were kids. I
No.
mean, we didn't worry about bugs or
snakes or any, and they'd be right there
parasites
beside
or
us.
whatever. We didn't care anything about that. We'd go canoeing in anything, or we'd go swimming in anything, or fishing anywhere. And
All right, well, my next one really messed my head up as a kid. It's called Dolls. It come out in 1987.
I don't know that there were so many of those. There was Puppet Master and
Well,
then
no.
Demonic Toys.
Puppet Master. Those are a little bit different. This toy maker. Well, I guess it'd be on the same lines as Puppet Master, but this toy maker and his wife had this huge house, and this family broke down in a storm, and they go up to the house. Well, then some other people come up that's going to try to rob the house.
Oh.
And this lady gives the little girl a doll because her stepmama, throws hers away. But, and the doll's possessed. But all these dolls in this house were possessed by criminals that have been killed.
Okay.
Dude, that's the reason I hate dolls to this day.
That kind of puts me on my next one, too, then, since I'm winging it anyway. But what was the movie? Was it Long Night of the Scarecrow? Where the guy had, Down syndrome and he killed the little girl?
Night of the Scarecrow. Is it Dark Knight?
Yeah, I thought it was Long Night of the... Wasn't there one also about scarecrows called the Town That Feared Sundown or something like that, too?
I don't know if that was necessarily scarecrows. But anyway, it was something that possessed
the movie about scarecrows, man, that kind of freaks you out a little bit about, because my grandparents they ran a farm and they had big scarecrows, so I was always freaked out at their house.
That kind of
what's
falls
these scarecrows gonna do? And I've even had nightmares about scarecrows. That's how deep it ran.
Well, that kind of falls in line with everybody's, Children of the Corn.
Yeah. Another one, yeah. That's the same way.
It's not on my list. I took it off.
Well, I had one Stephen King on mine, and it was Cujo, because of it's like after that movie came out, it was another situational thing. Yeah. After that movie came out, everybody was freaking scared of Saint Bernards or whatever
Cujo
they
was
were.
On mine. And that's one of the reasons I was terrified
slobbery,
of dogs.
nasty Saint Bernard, man. You were just freaked out by him after that.
Oh yeah.
But that was on mine. That was my one Stephen King that I put on there. So,
Ghoulies, 1985.
Ghoulies, I love that movie.
Dude,
I love those Critters and Ghoulies.
Now
both.
it's funny to watch. But
yeah, because it was so
then,
cheesy. But yeah,
like I said, that was 85.
Back then, though, you think about it, man.
8 years old, 7 years old.
The weird puppeteering is part of what made it spooky. You know what I mean? It was like when we were watching Fright Night last week. The weird puppeteering and the twisting of the face and stuff that
it almost made it creepier.
That makes it creepier. Yeah. So Ghoulies is one of those type. It's like the weird puppeteering
and the whole popping up out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That makes it even freakier. I mean, because who's not scared of puppets, man? I'm not talking about Sesame Street puppets, but those weird Croft puppets and stuff.
The marionette dolls.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, those some of them on Mr. Rogers was even creepy, man.
Oh yeah, and they were just the finger puppets.
Yeah, but the ones with the ceramic heads and stuff, some of those were just creepy. So, well, who went? You went, right?
Yeah, so it'd be you.
Another one that I think was creepy that kind of freaked me out, and I'm not afraid of snakes, but there was a movie back probably late 80s, I figure, early 90s maybe, called The Curse, and it was a really cheesy movie about snakes. But I know in the movie...
that one come out in the early to mid-90s.
It might have been. But I know they were going down the road, and all of a sudden you could just see black across the road, and they didn't know what it was. They thought, you see weird stuff on the road anyway, tar and stuff and gas fumes and stuff. So they get up to it, and it's just this 100-foot block of the road is just covered, completely covered in these twisting snakes. And they're running over them, and the snakes are jumping up and biting at the wheels and biting at the axle and everything. So
Dude.
I know that one did kind of I know I'm not even afraid of snakes, but when I went to bed that night, I made sure I looked under the bed.
Just
make
sure
there's
no
no
snakes
under my bed, So, but that was my next one. And
all right, well, I'm gonna kind of stick with the whole doll theme. The Dead Silence that came out in 2007 about the marionette dolls.
Yeah. Oh, those are creepy, man.
Oh,
That
my
Pinocchio,
God.
that weird
Ooh.
Pinocchio movie.
That movie scared me.
Yeah.
And
The
that's
doll thing is.
one of the few that has scared me in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I mean, there's some creepy movies. There's some.
Yeah, there's some creepy,
Well, you know, they went
but-
into the gross thing for a while,
But that don't bother me.
and
The
that don't bother
gore,
me. The gore
The
stuff, and
slasher
then
type does not bother me.
and then they went into the whole after Blair Witch came out, and then they did
found footage and
Yeah, and then they kind of did that, and then they kind of did the whole haunting thing where they
the
tried to
haunted
make
houses,
it look
yeah.
real, look
Which
more
I ain't
like
gonna lie, dude.
video
Blair
footage.
Witch, that movie was scary.
It was creepy. I mean, I had actually thought about putting that on my list, and and a lot of people thought it was real.
Oh,
And that's what
we
I think.
did.
That's what made it creepier. Was like before I had actually seen the movie, I had saw those guys that played in it on MTV and knew that it was.
Well,
it
see,
was all
we
fake,
didn't. We
but
watched it in the theaters.
I didn't go to the theaters. I waited a little while.
And we didn't have Google and all that readily available like we do now. So by the time the movie come out and it was in theaters,
The second
everybody
Blair Witch
still,
was a little creepy too. I mean,
It was
it was
creepy, but it
nowhere
was
near like the
stupid.
first one. It wasn't like the first one. It was dumb, but it did have some creepy parts. And I don't know. Was that back to you again? We'll go with another one.
It don't matter.
I think we're talking back and forth anyway.
The
So,
Conjuring, man.
The
Conjuring was just
yeah.
an all-around spooky, creepy movie. And I don't know if it's. They say it was based on Ed and I can't think of her name now. I mean the original Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
But that movie just kind of
Well, I listened to
the whole basement scene whenever they
what's
fell
the
in the
show,
basement.
Coast to Coast or whatever.
Yeah.
They interview those guys on there
Yeah.
sometimes, and I actually listened before I watched that movie. I didn't even know that movie was about them.
It's like Ed
And then-
Noreen. Or
Ed Noreen, yeah, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. But I listened to a couple of their interviews on there because it comes on early in the morning,
West Coast. It's
And-
Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
With
Ed. I can't
hell, I
remember.
can't think of his name.
But anyway, I had listened to a couple of the interviews with them, and them talking about all that before I saw that movie, and then I was like, so that made it even creepier.
Oh,
That I
another
knew it was all
creepy-
real people, It's
Another
like-
creepy spot in that was that tree out by the lake in the backyard. And you're just like staring at it, and all of a sudden there's like somebody hanging from it. It's like,
Yeah,
bam,
yeah.
just right in your face. You're like, ah! And
That
then
was
it's
a
gone
creepy
again.
movie for a newer one.
Yeah.
Most of the newer ones don't make it on my list most of the time. Now there was just there's one movie that I had that's not a horror movie at all, but there was a creepy scene in it, and it kind of made me give up eating certain foods for a little while. Was Golden Child. Do you remember they were
Eddie
feeding
Murphy?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
remember they were feeding the kid like oatmeal, right? And you
Yeah,
remember
then
he
it
walked
turns
in and
out it-
pushed into it, and blood,
And
come out of it.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't want to eat oatmeal for like months after that, dude. I was like, man, I'm not eating this oatmeal. There's gonna be blood up under there
God,
when I
that movie was
smush it.
so good, man.
Like, but it's not even a scary movie. But that
No.
was a creepy part that I remembered in a movie, and I'll go along the same topics and go along with the next one. Is like, when I was a kid, they would tell you if you got stabbed by a pencil, you were going to die of lead
Lead
poisoning,
poisoning.
right?
I remember that.
And even when we were kids, they wasn't using real lead
No,
and
it's
pencils,
graphite, but we
back
didn't know
then.
any better.
But our parents always told us if you got, this is where I said I'll have to ask you: was it Evil Dead 2? When he stabbed him with the pencil and his whole leg just started turning black,
It was
Wasn't
one
that-
and two.
was it? And he stabbed him with a pencil.
That scene was one of the ones they kept and redone.
That was so crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was like that. I was like, "Yep, Mama was right. That kid, that guy's got lead poisoning now. He's dead. He's a goner."
Well, I had that one. I had that one on my list, and I took it off. But since you mentioned it, I'm
And
gonna
then the
bring
tree, of course, the tree with the
well,
woman. That was a little bit,
the part that got me the most was when remember he had to cut up his girlfriend,
yeah,
and he took and buried her.
yeah.
And then I don't know if lightning or what it was. I might be thinking about Army of Darkness, but her body
Yeah, all those
comes
kind of get
back
twisted
together.
up because they, like you said, they reused a lot of it in
Yeah.
all three of the movies. So.
But then her body comes back together, and she's just a skeleton, and she's dancing out in the woods behind the shed.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, that freaked me out.
And it's another thing where we were talking about the weird puppeteering.
It was
The
just
same thing. It was
practical.
cheesy, weird puppeteering, but it was still
It was
like that's
scary.
what made it scary. It was
Yeah.
the weird ass way they would dance and the cuts. You know, like almost the claymation type.
It was just
stop motion
awesome.
type stuff
Yeah.
that they would do. Like that made those movies creepier for us back then. Now you look at it and it's like it's just
cheesy.
comical
and it's
cheesy,
funny.
but
yeah,
back then I was like we got creeped out over that. And I mean it was part of that. That was part of it. Was the weird puppeteering and the weird stop motion stuff that they would do. And or sometimes I guess they had robotics and stuff in some of the higher tech ones, but
yeah, but you had to have a big budget to have the animatronics.
and most horror movies didn't have a very big
and
budget.
even if they did have
back then.
animatronics, it was just for the eyes or maybe
Usually,
the mouth.
yeah.
Because for the most part, it was just a puppet or somebody wearing a puppet suit of some
Yeah,
sort.
one of the yeah.
All right, I'm going to say, this one creeped me out. Phantasm, 1979.
Phantasm was another one. Tall Man.
Tall
Yeah.
man.
That was another one that got me.
I
I didn't even
recently-
really watch all of those movies because of that. Like,
1 and 2 kind of were okay.
Yeah.
But after that, I think there's 5 of them. I found them at Walmart in the it's like the $5.
I watched
bin.
a making of the scene where the ball thing comes out of the guy's head.
Oh,
like, digs
yeah.
out, like spins out, like a saw blade almost.
But dude,
Like I watched the making of that. It was kind of cool, like watching that.
There was a killer ball for each kind of kill. One had the drill,
yeah,
and it would spit the blood out, and then one had the blades.
yeah.
Did one not have lasers?
It might have.
Because didn't it cut through one of the doors to get to them? But yeah, dude, that show was creepy.
And following along, kind of along those lines.
Especially when you was our age. I said that come out in what, 79?
Yeah, because I was young when I watched it. I don't know,
And I'd have been like
So-
6 or 7 when we finally watched it.
but kind of stayed along those lines was Hellraiser. Hellraiser had some scenes that kind of creeped me out when I was
Yeah.
a kid. The first one.
The first
Now
one.
by the second, third one, it just kind of got.
You know when that portal opened and
I
all
don't
of
want
the
to say
Cenobites-
cheesy, but different. You know,
all
it was a
of the
different type
Cenobites
of
come out.
yeah,
All
yeah.
of them. Now that part was kind of, you're like, oh my God,
But the first one was more basic, and I think that's what kind of creeped me out a little bit more.
it was about the box and what
Yeah,
happened when
yeah.
it was the killer,
Yeah,
the
from
serial
that, yeah.
killer, yeah, and how he got turned into Pinhead. That was just awesome. All right, I'm gonna change it up just a little bit. Well, actually, this here will be my. This will be my number 1 right here.
I'm gonna pull my phone back out.
And I'm gonna
look
tell
through.
you, this movie scared the absolute shit out of me, and I watched it 2-3 years ago. It come out in 2016. It's The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh,
Wow.
I don't know that I've seen that. I remember hearing about it
You
though.
need to watch it. It's kind of on the lines of a haunting, but it's kind of on the lines of, I really wouldn't say a possession, but like a evil haunting sort of thing. And wow, dude, that movie was just great.
Well, then, like we were talking about, we kind of kept the cliche stuff. So the other one is a kind of a, you know, like y'all were just talking about going ghost hunting and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, like my mom was always one of them was like, don't tempt that stuff because you can bring something back with you.
That's always
So like
a
all
possibility.
the possession movies, like Exorcist and those type movies,
Horrifying.
I mean, we tried to stay away from cliche on this list, but
Well, that and
all
everybody
those type
mentions
movies,
those,
man,
too.
are like the possession type. Like that's one of the things that really creeps me out because it's
It
like,
could happen.
yeah, you can go through and find documents of people who's been possessed and like what the Catholic Church did with them, and then like that type of stuff, or even just
It's-
history,
yeah,
you know.
just throughout history itself.
And of course, we live in the South, so like we
Bible
hear,
Belt people.
yeah, so we hear like tall tales and people, about everything
I
anyway.
think
So
everybody's grandma or mama, like you said, is, don't be tempting them ghosts. Them,
Yeah.
them will get
they
you.
can come back with you. You
They'll
never
get
know
ya.
when it's a demon or a ghost or
With my
And they can
grandma,
follow you
everything
back.
was a demon.
yeah, everything's a demon. Yeah, that's another thing about the Bible Belt too.
Yeah.
everything's a demon.
All right, well, the rest of mine are honorable mentions.
Go ahead and name them off. I'm kind of done.
2010 Insidious.
Insidious.
The only thing that really, really scared me or creeped me out about that movie is Darth Maulface.
Oh yeah.
How he would just pop up out of nowhere and just be like, boogie, boogie, boogie.
Well, I mean,
And-
that was another thing I tried. Like we were trying to avoid cliche stuff, and I tried to. Like I work in pest control now. Well, like my little mouse stations, right? They have. I've been telling everybody over the last month or two that I'm gonna die because of a lizard. Because every time I open these little mouse stations,
You think it's a snake?
there'll be a lizard in there, and it'll jump out, and I scare it when I open them, so they jump out and take off running.
It scares you.
Well, I know they're going to be there.
Yeah, but
Even
still, it's that
knowing that
jump
those
scare.
lizards are going to be in there. And they don't get hurt. They go in there because bugs go in there. They go in there to get the bugs. And then,
Yeah.
of course, the
Well, that,
mice
it's
go in
also
there to eat
rain.
the
I mean, they'll go in there.
And so every day, I try to kind of block out the jump scares, because those are in everybody. That's what I was talking about when we were talking about Jaws and Meg and stuff, was the jump scares. And so I tried to kind of weed some of that out because
I tried to leave the jump scares out.
because that's in all horror movies. When they have the cat come out of the random cat you haven't seen the whole movie just jumps out of an empty closet.
Yeah.
They do those tricks all the time because they can actually take, like I've noticed, like in the last 20 years, like they'll film the audience and they can have that it doesn't have to be a big scene as long as it's a jump scare and the audience jumps. Well, everybody's watching it's going, oh, I like that.
That's gonna be
That's
awesome.
going to be
Yeah.
awesome. And it might just be a cat jumping out of a closet that scared them. But that's always a good thing too. So I tried to kind of stay away from that and just went more with like what was creepy.
Yeah.
Just creepy stuff.
Well,
So-
this one, the next two are everybody's list, more or less. Of course, the original It in 1990 with Pennywise.
Oh wow, yeah.
And there's not even just one spot for it. And I was terrified of clowns for a long time because of that and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Those two movies, man.
Clowns never bothered me, but now I mean it was creepy. I by the time I watched, I think I was older before I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space, so I found it more humorous.
It was.
I found the humor in it
when
more.
I finally watched
and
it
I think I was a
again.
little bit older, but like you're right though. And until the very end, it kind of threw me off at the end of the original.
It's a
I
Stephen
didn't-
King ending. It just peters
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it did.
There's like no way to come back from everything you just come through. So he's just like,
Let me throw this on there.
let me just do this.
It's like, yeah,
And then we got the original, horror, everybody's The Shining.
oh yeah, that's another one. That was just a creepy movie altogether, man.
And the twins, dude, that's one of the reasons I hate
Oh,
kids
speaking
in
of-
movies.
Have you seen the previews for The Stand, the new series?
No, I haven't.
It looks so good, man. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan,
Oh,
but the
I
Stand
am.
series looks really good. I mean, I've watched all of Stephen King. I loved him when I was a kid, but it seems like now he writes his books too quick or
Yeah.
something, and then they've got to where they just turn everything into everything
They're
he
throwing-
does.
they're
His
throwing
son's good
everything
too,
on the
though.
wall and just seeing what sticks.
We were talking about Hill House. That's his
Yeah.
son.
Oh yeah, that is his
yeah,
son.
right.
And now
he
that,
was in the movie.
that new one's out.
And,
The
he was
Haunting
actually-
of Bly Manor. It just come out on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I started watching it last night.
That's but what's his name? Joe Hill?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Joe
Is that what he
Hill.
goes by? Yeah, he's good. I mean, I've taken a liking to some of his stuff, but
All right, now these next two come out in the same year. An American Werewolf in London
yeah,
and The Howling.
both of those. I remember those coming out the
Both of
same.
them.
Yep.
Those the
And both of them
main
are
part-
creepy.
Yes,
the
main part
changeovers.
in no, the changeover. Yeah, I guess when I watched it because I was young.
Yeah,
the
that was me.
transformation was like really scary. But when he wakes up in the bed out in the middle of the woods, and all of a sudden it's just a werewolf that just like comes running out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like really, really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more of a jump scare, but at the same time, it was a holy crap.
Well, one of them I left off of my list was the original Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was because it was black and white and that creepy. You know, back then that the sound quality was terrible. And I think that was part of it was the whole terrible sound quality, and the black and white was what made it creepy.
Yes.
I think that was part of it. But I kind of left that off the list just because it was cliche, like you said.
Well,
so,
I really wouldn't
but
consider
that is,
as much a cliche because, I mean, you are talking about the original.
I mean, that's where everything started.
It's really
you know,
started
that's where
the whole
everything,
genre,
even in that to now.
Yeah,
I mean, like
zombie
every
genre.
zombie movie you see now is.
George Romero just, I mean, when he wrote that, I don't think he knew what kind of impact he was fixing to have
I know.
on the world.
And I mean, you can go back and look at other, like we just watched last week, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Just for the cheesiness value of it, we watched it last week, and I mean, you can go back. There is zombie movies before that, but he was the one that brought it mainstream, where it wasn't just completely
Really, Plan
cult.
9 from Outer Space.
That wasn't really zombies as
It
much
was,
as just
but
the
it
dead
was just
rising.
more reanimated.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because they.
But there was zombie movies before Night of the Living Dead. It's just, but he was the one that brought them to the forefront to where they wasn't just like a cult
Yeah.
thing. It was like a mainstream.
Exactly.
So like, I mean, that's where you get now Walking Dead. You know, like World War Z. Everything that comes out
Dude,
now
and there's a million.
came from that movie.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead.
Oh yeah, they come out like in the
Mall
80s,
of
man.
the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
anything you could throw a zombie in, they would make a movie
yeah.
about it. You
and
know?
then they did trilogies of them.
Of all of them, yeah.
Yeah, it got ridiculous, but I mean, they were good for what they were,
Oh yeah. And then you got spinoffs like Shaun of the Dead, which was pretty cool.
which is awesome. That's one of my
awesome.
all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Well, folks, that's our I would say top 10, but I mean that's our 10 plus list.
Yeah, I just kind of winged it. Mark doesn't like it when I wing it.
I could have won,
But you know
winged
me.
it, but man,
But you know me, like I can talk, so I don't have to
Yeah.
write stuff down because I know how to talk. And everybody knows me knows I love to talk, so it
well,
doesn't.
and I started with 25.
And you had to
And
wing.
I had to weed it down. And
Yeah.
I finally got down to 15. I was like, dude, there's nothing else to take off. And Mark's like, all right, well, you got 5 honorable mentions. I'm like, all right, dude.
There you go. That works. Well, I don't even know how many we did. I just talked in between
Well, we did
yours.
15, but
so-
we talked about other movies.
Well, I kind of clumped
so-
some of them together too.
Yeah.
You know, like the Jaws type movies. You know,
And that's fine.
Jaws, Meg, and all that. Because I mean, like if you just break those down, you're gonna have the same scare out of each one.
Yeah.
You know, and like we did kind of the dolls all together, except like the Conjuring and the Annabelle stuff to me is not like.
And see, the Annabelle was scary. But again, that's kind of a cliche in our group because.
But let me tell you one thing that did scare me when I was a kid, and it was from the. Well, I would say probably Puppet Master was the one I probably watched the most when I was a kid. But my grandmother had made all of her grandkids Cabbage Patch Kids. Well, we were mostly boys.
Yeah.
There was some girls, so she made them regular Cabbage Patch Kid dolls, you know. So she made them for us, but she made Mr. T Cabbage Patch Kids. Well, mine, the thing about it is she painted the eyes on, right? So she painted them white, like bright-ass white eyes on these things.
Oh, wow.
And my mom thought it was fancy because my grandmother made them to hang them on my wall right above my bed. So I would wake up and see these white-ass eyes from this Mr. T Cabbage Patch Kid.
Just staring at
And
you.
all you could see at night was these white eyes just looking down at you. So that was always... So the doll thing did kind of creep me out because of that. You know, I didn't have a lot of dolls because, you know, we just... I kept action figures. My action figures never scared me, but... Like, I never had a lot of dolls, but that one did creep me out. Like that Mr. T, because it would hang over my bed, and all you could see when I looked
Just
up was
eyes.
white-ass eyes looking at
Oh,
me,
wow.
you know, staring down at me. So,
And see,
that
my
was kinda
grandmother and my mom, they collected dolls. My grandmother, before she
yeah,
passed,
see, I got lucky. I didn't have any girls in my family.
Well,
and
before my
mom
grandmother
didn't collect
passed,
anything like that.
she had a
and
doll room, and it was the
that's
spare
creepy,
bedroom.
man. That's creepy.
So when I'd go over there, I would stay in that bedroom.
Yeah,
I told her, I
that's
was like,
creepy.
no, I will sleep on the couch. I cannot sleep in
I don't
that
blame you,
room.
man. I'm serious. Like those porcelain face dolls are creepy.
They are porcelain, and they're the real.
Yeah, and they're
She
old,
had
so they're
one-
dirty.
Well,
You
she
know, they're
had
all
one
dirty
made.
and.
You can take a baby picture and then send it off, and they will make a doll that looks like that baby picture.
Oh,
So
see?
she had one of all of us grandkids
See, that's scary, man.
at different
That's-
stages. Some of them were babies. Some of them were more,
Yeah,
a year, 2-year-old,
yeah.
toddler time. And it was just
See, that's creepy. Yeah, I wouldn't have stayed in that room
Well,
either.
when she passed, my mom got not all of her dolls. It kind of got split between all the granddaughters and granddaughters. But Mama ended up getting a bunch of them. And I told her, I was like, Mama, I'm not coming over anymore. Do not have them set up in the living room.
So I will say, like my kid, I bought one of my kids this big, huge Spider-Man doll, right? Stuffed thing. It's a big, huge, big-headed Spider-Man. Well, I've got my youngest one has a little fold-out chair that we set in the living room, and when he's not there, I just throw it beside the TV. So he was leaving one night or one day, and he was playing with that big Spider-Man. So when he left, he just threw it in that chair.
Oh.
Well, I didn't realize he threw it in that chair. I come home late that night, lights are out, and I just see like it's the size of a toddler, But I see this toddler sitting in that chair, and it freaked me out because I'm
whoa, kids
wait
are
a minute.
gone.
I was like, oh, that's Spider-Man. Let me chill out just a minute. But that kind of stuff will get you, man.
It will.
And that's from those doll movies. I mean, that's
The
from
doll movies
all
is
those
what
doll
messed me
movies when I
up.
was a kid. So,
And see, there was doll movies in the, I want to say 70s.
or it doesn't really have to be dolls. It could be
Well,
like
there was a one called Mannequin, not to be confused with that romantic comedy Mannequin. But this
oh
come
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
in,
There was like a horror movie Mannequin.
Yeah, this came out in the mid 70s, and it was weird.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a doll, man. Like you said, a mannequin, or like it could be an actual kid, like a little toddler, like from like
Kids are scary.
yeah, like
And I stayed away
like
from
Pet
this
Cemetery. I mean, the kid in Pet
Gage.
Cemetery. There's nothing creepier than Gage in Pet
But
Cemetery,
Damien
man.
the
So,
Omen.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Like kids will scare you, man. And like they always prove, like they prove that in every movie too. Like even the modern movies, like The Ring and stuff. You know, they have the creepy girl with the hair down in her face, and the.
Well, that was one of the
yeah.
reasons The Shining was so scary to me.
Yeah, the kids.
the twins.
Yeah, exactly, the twins. Yeah, because they were creepy.
Come
or
Daddy, come play with us.
what was the one where everybody the perfect kids, the little blonde kid,
Village of the Damned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was creepy.
The
kids
original,
in there, just because they were so
the remake.
so perfect. Like those kids are. Yeah, wasn't Nicole Kidman in one of those or? I think
don't
the
know who was
remake
in
or
the
something. I
remake.
can't remember.
I can't remember. It does kind of.
But anyway, we're rattling now. That was our list. So, I mean, we could just sit here and talk back and forth about creepy
we can
stuff
talk
all
horror
night.
movies forever.
But that was our somewhat of a list, I guess.
Yeah.
Mark
us
will be
know
mad
what
at
you-
me because I winged it.
Let us know what you like. Let us know what you didn't like. Now you can call the new voicemail
Yeah, man, y'all give
line,
us a list. That's what
It's
we like to hear. We'll read off y'all's
662
list.
767-4487. You can call it or you can text it, and you can stay anonymous.
I'm gonna
if you
take my
want to.
phone and like look up those numbers and see if we can make something cool out of those numbers.
Oh, put it like a
Yeah.
name or something.
Like
to
a
it?
662-767 something.
burger.
Yeah,
Which
we're
no,
gonna
it
have
ain't
to.
burger.
I'm gonna look at the numbers and see if we can figure. We're gonna write down some codes and see if we have
All
something
right.
we can just throw out there,
Just something we can throw out there.
so people can remember that number easier.
But all right, folks.
All right, Mark will be back on to give you an outro, but for now we're heading out to watch this creepy movie. Mark told us
And
eat burgers. Yeah, we're always eating on it.
Like a basketball. Bounce.
Are you good?
I don't know, Emma.
Like a basketball.
Yeah.
Bounce, bounce.
Check, bounce. Bounce that check. Like a basketball.
I bet people don't even know what bounce checks are anymore because people don't use checks.
I
They just know what overdrawn means.
Well, a lot of people still use checks.
No.
Older people do.
Much older people. I mean, I'm an older people, and I haven't signed a check in Hell, I've been out of checks since like 97.
Dude, I write checks at least twice a month. That's how I pay a lot of my
That
bills.
your ass can't cash.
Oh, no, they don't bounce. If they bounce, that means I ain't got no power, no water.
Dude, I pay all my bills online. All at one time. As soon as that payday rolls around, I get on the computer, click, 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 bills paid, done.
Well, electric bills due like the second week. So that normally comes out of my first paycheck along with truck payments. So I have to divvy my stuff up.
Auto pay is great, but you got to be careful. If you set too many things up on auto pay, you like forget about some of them.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll sneak up on you at an inopportune time, like when you're trying to check out at Walmart, and then some $300 something came through, and you're like, yikes.
Yeah. My insurance comes through on auto pay, and it always sneaks up on me.
Let me check this audio.
Take
All
two.
right, let's wrap this episode up, bring it home. I've had this done for a while. I just haven't done the outro. I'm at least 2 days late on uploading it. And if I don't hurry and get it done today, we're going to run into the next episode, which starts tonight. Well, we start recording tonight because we're going on location to a couple of places. We're going to take all of our ghost hunt equipment with us and our newly acquired toys.
Well, the only thing we won't have with us tonight will be the SLS Ghost Capture Cam.
I thought you said you picked up the power adapter for it.
Oh, I've got everything for it except for the mount. The mount won't be here till Wednesday.
Oh, you got to have like a thing to put it all together?
You do. I mean, you can do. I could have built something for it, but dude, I just ain't had the time.
Yeah.
And since everything came in during the week, I just, like I said, I hadn't had time to throw together anything.
You know, I don't know anything about that thing yet. I mean, I've seen it in use on videos, but the thing I like about it is you can't say that it's not legit because you're using the Xbox Connect, which isn't even meant for ghost hunting.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. I was reading the story on how it became what it is. It actually became what it is because of Paranormal Activity. That movie, one of the movies shows they had an Xbox Connect hooked up, and it was picking something up in the background. Well, this other guy watched that and was like, hey, you know, we see that all the time, and Microsoft calls it glitches, which it will glitch on you. It'll give you a false positive. Like if you're in a corner or if it's a hard angle. But, yeah, it came about by accident off a movie, and the guy was just like, hey, check this out. And just started doing it.
Yeah, because if you buy like a piece of paranormal investigation equipment,
Well, you know, there's really no such thing.
I know, but like if you did buy something that was built to help you find ghosts, you almost kind of think, like the skeptic side of your brain thinks it might be a little too forgiving.
Yeah.
So that they would,
just so they could sell it.
Yeah. But being that this isn't even meant for hunting ghosts, if you see something on it, I'm going to say that gives it a little more street cred,
Yeah.
if you will.
And, you know, that's still something else I was reading, which I've known about this for a long time. But every piece of equipment, paranormal hunters, ghost hunters, whatever you want to call them, use, was made for something else.
Yeah.
Our EMF meters, our K2 meters, night vision.
Well, that motion detector I bought, I had one in my driveway just to let me know when somebody was coming down the driveway. But, I mean, ghost hunters use them because if you set one up and the alarm goes off and there's nothing there, you know.
Yeah. And that camcorder I've got, it's got motion detection on it. So if it detects motion, it'll start recording.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my security camera does that. I got a security camera on my property that it'll start filming if it sees something move. And whether it's
filmed a lot today.
Whether it's yeah. The only announcement that I wanted to make on this outro, because I can't wait till the next episode because I'm so excited about it. Did you know that they have greenlit a Dexter revival?
Yeah, we was talking about that at work yesterday.
It's going to be a limited series. I don't know what that means as far as how many episodes it's going to be, but they said they're not undoing anything. They're basically just going to clean up the way
ending.
because everybody hates the ending, and everybody loved everything but the ending. And so this is going to kind of, I don't know, justify, rectify, somehow fix that.
Well, I think it's just supposed to fill in some gaps. A lot of the stuff people didn't like about the ending was just how there was so many holes in it.
Well, it's just the fact that he went off and became a lumberjack. I mean, he could have like
spoiler. I haven't seen it.
Okay, it came out like 2001.
Hey, I was
No,
up
it's a little
to
later
date
than that.
watching it all the way up to season 4.
Oh,
And then I
jeez.
just kind of quit watching it.
Well, it's probably about time for you to catch up. Let me just Google that. Season 9 would have been the last one. So this will be season 10, I guess.
And I've seen bits and pieces of other seasons, bunches of different episodes. But I wouldn't, whenever I quit watching it, I just wasn't at a place where I could watch it.
So
anymore.
season 8 was the last. I thought it went 9 seasons. 2013 is when season 8 started. So it would have probably finished up that same year or early 2013 or 14. So you've had enough time for me not to worry about a spoiler alert. But anyway, this is not a spoiler. This is just something I think would be neat. You know how Harry set up the code for Dexter and taught him how to do everything, and then Harry still appears throughout the series as like his conscience.
Yeah.
But what would be cool is, his son, and I keep calling him Oscar. That's the kid from Ghostbusters.
Wow, how do you remember that?
What?
The baby from Ghostbusters was
Because I'm a
Oscar.
Ghostbusters fanatic.
There is no way I'd have remembered that.
Harrison. Little Harrison, he's still like pretty much an infant. I mean, he's still a baby when the show ends. If they jump ahead in time, because like a lot of times when they flash back with Dexter, like Harry training Dexter, he's like they use the same boy actor.
Yeah, and it's the same age.
He's a
range.
young. He's not a baby. He's like a kid. Like I don't know, probably 10 at least.
He was just like killing animals then.
So what if Harrison is 10 when this starts up, and Dexter has to become like the Harry and teach him how to do the code?
Oh, so you think Harrison is going to become...
He could be
serial
a Dexter. He could be Dexter too. I don't think they'll do that. I just think that'd be neat.
It'd definitely be a different kind of twist on it.
Yeah, because, well, you haven't seen it, so I don't want to spoil anything else, but there's a lot of people... It's going to be hard for it to... It's not going to go back the way it was. It just can't. And so you're not going to be able to use a lot of the same... I mean, even the ones that survived, you're not going to be able to use them, really. I don't think. I don't know. It's all just speculation. But just judging by the way it ended, I think it's going to be a lot. Things aren't going to go back to the way they used to be. Unless it's in flashbacks.
Well, they are really good at doing flashbacks. They do a lot of them.
So that's really all I had to announce, other than we are starting episode 146 today as we record.
Are you sure?
This outro.
I thought this was 145.
Yeah. We're starting 146 tonight.
Oh, tonight. Yeah. On location.
Yeah, these two episodes are almost like crashing into each other here.
Do we want to give them an outline of our location tonight, or do we want to wait and see if we actually catch anything?
Yeah, because like I said, it's like going fishing. We may go out there and walk around all night with our meters and nothing happens. But we'll still tell them next episode where we went and what we did and why we went there, and give them a good rundown of it in the next episode. I have scheduled an interview with Dr. Brown that should be on the next episode as well. I've been in touch with him. He's got new books that he did. He had a lot of time during the quarantine to write, and he got a lot done, and we're going to talk all about it. And I guess that's it. Let's wrap this up. It's a good episode. Had a lot going on.
Yeah, we got a lot going on now.
And it was filmed. It was recorded over the span of like several days. Like I did that first part by myself, and then it was like 2 or 3 days later we did the next, and then it's been 2 or 3 days
Sunday,
or more
me
since
and
then.
Clint did our top 10.
Yeah, and this is Saturday, and we're just now doing the outro. I've been trying to do the outro all week.
Yeah, you told me you was going to do it Monday, and then you got busy.
I tried
You
every
wasn't
day
able
to do it, including last night. But it's done now. We just did it. Thanks for listening to episode 145 of Real Pop Culture. We've been broadcasting live from high atop the first and only floor of the Killj headquarters at the Killj Ranch. Love you. Bye.
Later.
Go to our Patreon page.
Like, subscribe.
And stuff.